Okay, good evening everyone and welcome to another GIMP photo editing tutorial. Today we're going to be going over how to make these nifty little silhouettes in order to basically censor a photo of some people. Sometimes you get people who don't want to be photographed and they just want to be taken out of the picture, but unfortunately going through and making it look like they were never there is not always easy. So today we're going to be basically going over how to protect their identity while still maintaining your photo's integrity. So first thing we're going to do is just kind of go over some GIMP basics that I'm going to be using in this tutorial. So the first one is the zoom tool. You're welcome to use this zoom in and out tool here. You can zoom pretty far in. That was actually a little bit too far. But the way I like to use is by pressing and holding the control key and then scrolling your mouse wheel. And that can be done with whatever tool you're using. So say, for instance, if you're using your pencil tool, you're just drawing a little bit over here. You can just press and hold control and then scroll your mouse wheel and it'll zoom in or out based on wherever you've got your cursor pointed. Another tool that we're going to be using is just the scroll bar. And then if you want to scroll vertically, you just press and hold Shift and scroll, and you'll be able to do that. And the last kind of hotkey that I'll probably be using a lot is Control Z, which is the undo key. So, if you, made a mistake, I scribbled over these poor people's faces before I meant to, I can just press and hold Control and then press the Z key and it'll undo. And you can do that as many times as you like and just undo individual steps. Okay, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get started on this silhouette tutorial. So the way that I usually like to do this, we're going to go ahead and just leave this background here. These happy folks, we don't want to accidentally alter this photo without being able to undo it. So we're going to go ahead and make a copy of this layer. To do that, we'll go up to the Layers panel and make a new From Visible layer. Basically what this does is just makes a complete copy. So if we turn both of these off, there'll be nothing there. But basically this is just a copy of it. So if we're drawing on this, and not do that. See, Control Z, it's really handy. I make a lot of mistakes, so it's one of my favorite tools. Say we're drawing on top of this visible layer, and we mess something up, but if we just turn this layer visibility off, we can see the layer underneath it is exactly identical, but without the red line. So we'll actually go ahead and just get rid of that red line. But, so now we have our copy of the base layer. We're going to go ahead and start by selecting just a silhouette of this gentleman here. We'll call him James. James is a good name for this guy, I think. So this lasso tool is what this is called. The hotkey for it is F. So if you're over here using your pencil and you want to just switch to your lasso, just pressing F real quick, we'll go ahead and switch over to that tool automatically, and you can get to lassoing. So we'll go ahead and just start. Why don't we start with his shoulder? And you can do one of two things to basically make a lassoed selection around him. We can press and hold the mouse key, and you can see this line being drawn here. Or if we want to move a little bit faster but a little bit less accurately, you can just click, and it'll make straight lines based on wherever you click. And so what this does for us, here, we'll go ahead and unselect that. What this does for us is it allows for us to draw in just a specific region. So what we could do, technically, is we could very carefully go around the edges of this guy and paint around him. But I feel like that takes far too much time and is not accurate enough and just doesn't look very good. We want some kind of clean, sharp corners around him to make it really look like a silhouette. So what we're going to do, here, I'll show you what this tool does first. We'll go ahead and lasso this little circle right here, or oval, I guess. And then what we can do is paint, but it'll only allow us, you see how I'm painting outside the circle, but it's only showing the paint inside that circle? This will basically allow us to select the area around him and basically just scribble over it really fast, and we can basically just cover him up. So we'll go ahead and try that out. So I'm just going to go ahead and get through this. If you feel inclined to skip ahead, I will leave a time link in the description to where I'm basically done with that. Okay, and so basically that last step you're going to want to make is to connect the dots there. And if you hover over it and basically just click on the last dot, well, the first dot that you made, it'll allow you to basically connect that. So now we've got a nice outline drawn around this guy. But here's the thing. So if we wanted to, I don't know, let's paint him blue. We got him blue over here. Why don't we switch him to a nice nice purple. There we go. Nice little fuchsia color. So let's try painting him over. So what we can do is, this little brush is going to take far too much time, so let's increase the size of that. You can do that by clicking and dragging this size slider once you have your brush tool selected, or your pencil, whichever suits you. We'll actually go with the brush and turn up the hardness on that. So when we go over this, oh, look at that. He's turned purple, and we have no idea who he is anymore. But here's the thing. He kind of looks like an amorphous blob right now, and you can't really tell that he has arms. So what I want to do, we're going to go ahead and select this lasso tool again. What I want to do is take out this little hole in between his arm and his body. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to press and hold the control key again, and you see that little minus that appears by our crosshair? That means that we're going to be removing this from the current selection. So what we'll go ahead and do is we'll just go ahead and press select, and we'll just draw a nice little outline of this area here. Ta-da. And then we'll go ahead, why not, here, we gotta, and then we'll go ahead and press control again and trace around that area. So now what we have is a slightly more accurate outline of this guy that doesn't include the hole in his arm. So now when we go back to our brush tool and try to draw over him, we can tell, oh, would you look at that? He's got an arm with an armhole. We'll go ahead and press, we'll go ahead and select none, which you can more easily do by pressing Control-Shift-A. We'll do that, Control-Shift-A. And now he has been unselected. So now if we wanted to go back and draw more on this, we can. So let's go ahead and get his friend now. We'll just go ahead and do the same process. Okay, so now we've got her all selected up again. We'll go ahead and go to our brush tool, and why not paint her, how about a Kelly green kind of color? That's Kelly green, right? I'm not very good at color identification. Let's go for that. And we'll just go ahead and paint right over. So you're welcome to go ahead and do this last person, however you'd like. However, what I want to show you guys how to do last is, so you see these flyaway hairs that we've got on her. Sometimes if people have really identifiable hair colors, you're going to want to go ahead and just get rid of those flyaway hairs just so that there is no trace of their identity left in this photo. So how we're going to do that, we're going to go ahead and select this stamp tool, or clone tool, my mistake. So we'll go ahead and just select that. We'll kind of want a smaller brush for this one. Yeah, maybe about that size. Maybe we'll even go down to like, basically just make sure that you can basically maneuver this without covering up your green accidentally. So what we're going to go ahead and do now, we're going to go ahead and press the Control key and click. And what that does is it selects a little area here. So when we go over here and click again, you can see that it's basically taken this little selection and it's stamped it over here and it's copied it. We're going to go ahead and turn the hardness down on this a little bit and basically just go over that nice and easy. Until you don't have any flyaway hairs left. Get up here, and you can replace that sample by pressing Control and then clicking. So now it's going to sample from here. And you can see if I click and drag it, it also will continue. See, look, it's stamping from this down area right here. So we'll go ahead and undo that. But you can see, we'll just nice and easy click and drag. So resample there, Control click, and continue along our merry little stamping way. Control click, and what we have now is a silhouette with no little flyaway hairs. So yeah, that's it for today's tutorial. If you've got any questions, you can feel free to message me via my social media. I will leave those in the description. Yeah, guess we'll call it good.